Hello and welcome back to Doing a Lauren. Nice.
I did not. Her husband would have something to say about that.
Welcome back. That's true.
Who's watching us?
Yeah, who's watching us?
I did not.
Oh,
I think it was
what are
me.
you doing there, Zach?
Who's watching us?
Yeah, it's Zach.
All right. Tell us, Shane, what's the deal with ComX?
What's the deal with ComX? Well, I will start from the beginning. I won't go right back to the beginning because that story's been told like 1,000 times. Pretty much, I created ComX back in 2019. It did a few things about ComX, and then I went into the stage where I decided... Oh, awesome. Good one, Nick. Oh, nice.
That hilarious callback.
That's awesome. Hilarious. And so... Oh, sorry, I'm all jittery from doing 2 of these already. And so I made a site that helped bring together all creators of comics in Australia. Yeah, well-oiled machine, yes.
Hello,
And,
you in a minute, Morgan.
Just like the site.
Sorry,
And,
I asked Shane if I could derail him the whole time during this. He said yes.
I said yes. I stupidly said yes. And so the deal was I wanted to make it easier for people outside of the industry, the community, I should say, to find them, because I found myself had never heard of the indie market, and I'd been collecting comics since the late 80s. So I thought, are there other people like me who haven't realized there's an indie market out there in Australia that has Australian comics? So I put together the site. I try to call on people to join the site so I could promote them. And it sort of just grew from there. Next thing I know, I was publishing a calendar to help promote, which is, you can just see it behind me. It's bright lights. Yeah, that's it.
You can see it in front of me.
Yes, in front of you. Nice.
Ooh, something I'm sure we'll talk about.
Yes. Battle for Bustle. Nice. So, thanks, Darren. You did warn me, yes. And so we used the calendar to promote people, and then the question was, what else can we do to promote people? What else can we do to get their names out there, to get more people to realize there's this great pool of talent here in Australia? And that slowly led to over many conversations with others saying that I should become a publisher. At first, I thought that was ridiculous, to be honest. But after many conversations with Zach, Zach said he would, collaborate with me and become ComX Studio. And without that support, I never would have done it. And without that support, it would not have happened as well as it has. So that is ComX Studio. It's all about promoting and publishing people who might not get published themselves on their own steam. That's probably a simple way to sum it up, but yeah, that's probably the best way to say it. It's we're not here to take over the world. We're just here to help people get their stories out there.
And even just putting, like, even those who had already been published, it just gave people another place to tell stories where they didn't have to commit to 22 pages or whatever. They could do short, sharp little stories, and kind of everyone piggyback on each other. So if you want to read what Ed Kearsley's been up to, I get to ride Ed's coattails a little bit, and you get to see my stuff when you want to get Ed's. And so everyone cross promotes everyone. And I think it's a genius idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm just saying. But even with all those warnings that Darren gave me, I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah. So we've just done a Kickstarter for Presents 2. That's Presents Noir and Presents the color version. Number 2, they're the proofs. We're very close to getting ready to send those out.
Oh, this is number 1, but
it's number 1. But that's
Yeah.
number 1, which was a success in Kickstarter. We did quite well
roaring
with that
success.
one. Roaring success, yes. And yeah, so it's going really well. We're getting these stories out here. We're getting people contacting us, and I'm really happy about our number 2 in the fact that we've actually got 2. Well, number 1 also presents new. Duncan had never released a comic. So that was his first story. So these are the ones that I'm probably the most happy about. The people who haven't had a chance to get their stories out there, and Presents has given them that avenue. Julian and Stephen from issue 2, Noir, are the same. They haven't had published stories before, so that's really cool as well. Thanks, Hayden.
Thank you.
So yeah, so if there's anyone out there with questions, I'd love to answer any questions anyone has, because I know that people have been asking what I'm all about and what ComX is all about and what ComX Studio is all about. So feel free.
A question
to...
I have is, what are you up to? What's your ulterior motive here? Oh, I don't trust you.
Yeah. I wouldn't either. I mean, look at this beard. But well, actually, that should be a reason to trust me. I'm like a homegrown Santa.
What are you hiding under there?
3 chins.
Yeah.
But pretty much all it was I saw a hole. And I just took
Ease up.
Ease up.
Save that sort of talk for tonight's drink and draw, man.
I will. I just saw something that needed to be filled or corrected, or and me being me, decided to take it upon myself to be the person who did that, because no one else was. So I looked around, I couldn't see anyone who was promoting indie comics to any large degree. Everyone was sort of doing their own thing, no one was sort of doing it as a community, trying to promote the entire indie industry. So yeah, it sounds a little grandeur or whatever the word is, but I just doing my best I can to try to promote everyone, and having a great time doing it, meeting some awesome people in the industry, which is more than what I was hoping to get in payment, to be honest. That's just, that in itself is reason to keep doing this.
Zac, I don't know if you are the same. This is a weird analogy, but as a graphic designer, sometimes you might not have something to design that day, so you just, what's something that interests you, so you do a mock-up CD cover for your favorite band or whatever the case. Is there a chance, you're a web developer, Sizzle?
Yep.
Were you sitting around and just sort of, you wanted to apply your skills to something, and you liked comics, and so you started playing, and then this thing just snowballed?
Yes, that is probably the best description. The very, very beginning was just simply me wanting to make a website, and also at the same time me trying to fill some holes in my collection. And I was having a lot of trouble finding stores around Australia, because Google only gives you your local ones, unless they're ranking really high. Like King's seems to rank well anywhere. But all the other little stores that might have the comics I was after, I couldn't find unless I actually put a city name in and comics, and then another city name in and comics. And I thought that was ridiculous. And I went to the site that Diamond has, and it was so out of date, it's not funny. It had stores that didn't exist anymore. It had old contact details. It had all sorts of information about Australian comic, and it had bugger all Australian comic stores, because I think what it is, a lot of stores don't get directly off Diamond. Sometimes there's a middleman, so they don't end up on that site. So I just went, well, this is stupid. There should be something out there. Oh, I'll make it. I make websites, and it just, every time I came across another thing that needed to be filled, I added it to the website. Next thing I know, I'm publishing comics.
This guy Morgan Kuwait, I'm not familiar. Where would you like to see ComX in the next 5 years, and how big will your beard be?
You might not be able to read ComX. So, sorry. 5 years. Yes. All I want is for everyone to be, for the community itself to be better promoted. I'd like to see ComX being a much more used resource, like the comx.net.au, for finding people, for finding their social media. It's sort of like a hub, is what I've nicknamed it recently, where you can just go, you can find all your local comic stores. You can find comic stores in other states, in other cities, even ones that don't sell new comics, that only sell back issues. I'm including them as well, because that's half the battle. And I'm trying to slowly. I'd like to see in 5 years that the event side of it is just hammering, where people are just going to the site and putting in their application to have their event included in the calendar. That's probably where I would like to see. I'd like to see that in 1 year, to be honest. The calendar, because the calendar side of things is where it's really lacking, because that's a lot of work to chase that up. Because it's like the stores. It's very hard to find it unless you're Googling inside the area you're in. And even a lot of those things don't even come up in Google at all. You've got to go through Facebook and hope they've done a Facebook event.
I'm obviously joking about not knowing who Morgan Kuwait is. Morgan Quaid, he has a book out called Whiplash. It's just dropped, I believe. You can look up Morgan Quaid on Facebook and find the book there. But I didn't know Morgan up until this whole thing. I didn't know Lee Chalker. I didn't know Dave Dye. I didn't know Hayden Spurrell. You built more than a website. You kind of built a community and brought all these people together. Surely that wasn't in your original blueprint?
No, it wasn't. The original blueprint was just to make comic stores easier to find. And then the next thing was to make you guys easier to find. I thought about, find each other. That'd probably be handy. But yeah, we want the fans to be able to find you. And it's turned into this huge thing where you've been able to find each other. And that has been, I can't even think of the word for it. Heartwarming. I don't know. I can't think of it. It sounds a bit lame, but it's been really cool. It's been really cool. Seeing all these collaborations with different people and knowing that they only met because of what I've done. That's been really awesome.
I've got a potentially big thing which I would love to drop, but a potential team up that's happening. I haven't even told you guys. I'll tell you off air just in case I shouldn't be speaking about it. But it's a a pinch yourself type thing, and it only exists because of ComX and Drink and Draw.
Awesome.
So
you got rights to Xena? That's rude.
Tell us about Drink and Draw and how that's evolved. Obviously, I'm someone on the inside, but pretend I don't know anything and tell me about it.
Okay, well,
how do you remember it? Because I went back through our messages to write opening in the book.
Oh, awesome! As in me, how do I remember it?
Both of you.
Yeah, well, I guess I'll tell my version. So we were putting out Presents #1. It was in the birthing stages, and we were all going to get together and draw each other's characters. And so the initial one was you, me, Zac, Dave Dye, Ed Kearsley, Lee Chalker, Peter Wilson, Duncan Pranavicius.
Yep.
Who am I forgetting?
I think that's
and Tony Menzies.
Oh, Tony Menzies.
It was calendar people.
Yeah, it was calendar people, pretty much.
Oh yeah, right. Oh, the first Drink and Draw was a calendar thing?
No.
It was because that's what we really knew. The calendar people.
The people that I was closest to, that I went to first to ask if they want to be part of Presents, were all calendar people. Yeah, I'd already been talking to them, so it just sort of naturally happened.
And how I know how my version of how I think it evolved was the that I realized early on that myself, Lee, and Dave Dye were the talkers. And so I remember one episode where Peter Wilson wasn't on the show and messaged, and it came up, "It's too quiet, somebody talk." And from that moment, I kind of took it upon myself to always try and keep it rolling.
Note self, message Peter.
You created a horrible monster that no one can stop. But then we talked about what if the guests that we invite on and talk to are not just us, but some of the bigger names or people outside our circle. And that's when we started getting some of the Dave DeVrieses and Gary Challoner and Mark Sexton and Dean Rankin. I don't know about you guys, but like Friday night is like one of my favorite nights of the week.
Yeah,
probably is
I
my
look forward
favorite.
to it.
Yeah. And another plug for tonight's one, because it's the same things, but the wigs are off. We're showing our bald heads tonight and going for it. But yeah, how's that ride been for you, Sis?
Well, like you said, it started off as an idea to promote Presents. That's all it was. I was going to do 4 episodes, and just leave it at that. Then Noir came about, and I went, "Oh, we'll do 8 issues because there's 8 people now." And then it just got so popular, and everyone enjoyed doing it. I said, "Oh, well, we should keep doing this then. Oh, let's get some people outside the circle to come in and." Let's get some people outside the circle to come in, and it just grew and grew. And like you said, you were good at keeping things going. So when I asked you if you could sort of be the host rather than me, it just snowballed. And Drink and Draw now is like, it's seriously, I wait till Friday each week to go, let's do it.
Yeah,
let's see what we do this week. Let's see the art. Let's see the conversation. Let's see the mess that we come up with this time.
And we obviously do have a recurring cast of characters on Drink and Draw, but to other creators and illustrators out there, do not be shy to reach out to us, because we're basically open to anybody. That's right, like anybody who is in comics or aspires to be in comics, or just likes to draw, basically. Come on the show, get yourself a ComX profile, tell us about yourself, and let's start drawing. Let's make this this gang bigger.
Yeah, definitely. And for anyone who does want to get their name added to comx.net.au, if you just go to the link that I've got in my name here, but don't add the ACBD. Yes.
That's Nick is someone who came in the second half of the Drink and Draw season, and I don't know. I mean, I'm biased, but he's one of my favorite guests on the show.
Yeah. At that link, anyway, is where you get all your. No, that's okay. That's okay.
No,
that's where
there
are a list of links, all different places around the ComX network. One of them is to the application form to become a part of comx.net.au for creators. Australian creators, that's the only thing you've got to be. Writer, artist, letterer, whatever. As long as you're Australian, and by Australian I mean live in Australia. I'm not being all weird about it or anything. It's just live in Australia, or you're born in Australia and you're overseas. That's all you have to be. So if you've just moved here, you're Australian in my book.
And shout out to Morgan Quaid and Hayden Spurrell. Here's some low-key pressure to do a writer's night, write and sip or something, a round table of writers. Coming to ComX in 2022.
We are trying to work on something. Not those guys, but someone else. I'm actually working with someone else to try to come up with something to include writers. But it just seems a bit very artist-orientated.
Okay. Well, shout out to Morgan and Hayden. Go away.
Come up with another idea. Yeah, have another idea. Come up with something else, guys.
Yeah. Right and sit.
Right and sit. Nice.
You forgot snack as well. That's a big thing.
Snack. Okay, this would be the opportunity. I will end the show on this one. I got this morning.
I think I know. Someone asked for your phone number this morning.
Yes.
Lauren
got
Marshall,
this.
Lady Radis Baggers.
And it was filled with snacks for the full day of.
Oh wow! Oh wow! What a
So thank you very much. Apparently, it's from the entire crew. So
More balls
thank
than
you
you
to
know
the
what to do
ComX
with.
crew. Yes, I'm sure I'll find a way to figure it out. And I don't know where I was taking that. And
That's what she's. No.
that's what she said. Well, that's what this was all about. Just to let you all know what we're about. We're not about taking over the world. We're here to help people. I just thought I'd take half an hour out of today to let everyone know that. And next up, we have.
Thanks,
I'll
Alex.
actually say what's up next.
Another guy who I love, who I would never have met, was it not for all this.
Yeah. Yes.
I hung so much crap on Alex on the show last night that I almost felt the need to text him to apologize today. So I'll just do it in front of everyone.
Almost.
Alex, you know I love you, mate.
Almost.
I'm a big fan. I joke because I love.
Cool. And in 2 minutes, it says here, 2 minutes, we're swapping over to Sean and Darren talking about how to use Kickstarters.
Yes.
So that's what's on next. So just go to the comx.cx/ACBD. That's Australian Comic Book Day. And that will give you to the schedule. And there's a link there that will take you to whichever show you want to watch.
Awesome. I'll be
Awesome.
watching.
Thank you very much, guys. And I'll have to wrap this one up so I can go to the next one.
I'll wrap
And
you
I'm
up.
in the wrong
in a minute.
place. Thanks, Zac. Thanks, Spedsy. I look forward to it. Maybe later tonight I'll be up for being wrapped up after 10. I'll be very into it, I think.
Wrapped up in a blanket. 99.
Yeah. Yes, guys.
See you all later.
See you, man.
Hope you enjoyed the show. If you're after some more Aussie Comic Book Day goodness, just go to the link comx.cx and check out the